Good evening, everyone. I call to order the regular meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority. It is September 6th, 2016. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Here.
Morrow. Black. Here. Eversole. Here. Marshall.
Here.
Franklin.
Here.
Gilbert. Here. Goldern.
Here.
Johnson.
Here. We do have a quorum. I want to ask Reverend Josh to stand up and give us an invocation this evening. Really appreciate you
Hiding
coming.
behind Bill on phone.
Yeah.
Let us pray. Almighty and gracious God, throughout time you have called men and women to serve as leaders of your people. Some you called judges, others prophets. We give you thanks for those that you have called and equipped to serve as city councilors. Shower them with your grace, inspire them with your wisdom, and give them all joy in their service. This we pray in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. I need some of that joy. Item 1, consent agenda. Receive and approve the minutes of the regular PMA meeting of August 15th, 2016. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion second. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Black. Yes. Eversole. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Goldern.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Any comments from those assembled concerning the PMA this evening? Comments? Seeing none, we'll move to item 5, proclamation of commendation reports and inquiries by the governing body. Council, staff, any inquiries? Seeing none, any new business need to be brought before the PMA this evening? New business. Seeing none, item 7.
Motion adjourned. Second.
Motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Black. Yes. Eversole. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Goldern.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. 2 minutes. I call to order the regular meeting of the Perry Council and Perry Council meeting. I'm sorry. City Council meeting and City of Perry. We got that right this time? Thank you. It is September 6th, 2016. Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Here.
Morrow. Black. Here. Eversole. Here. Marshall.
Here.
Franklin.
Here.
Gilbert. Here. Goldern.
Here.
Johnson.
Consent agenda tonight and our council agenda is A through G. Any of those you need to discuss further, I make a motion, we'll remove them and discuss them or approve as presented.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion is second. Any discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Black. Yes. Eversole. Yes. Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert. Yes. Goldern.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 4, comments from those assembled. Anyone wish to make comments pertaining to the agenda this evening? Any comments? Seeing none, item 5, proclamation, commendation, reports, inquiries by the governing body. Council, staff. Seeing none, city manager's report, item 6.
Well, in about a week, we'll have the Noble County Fair, the rodeo, and the 16th celebration will all be happening in Perry. And so involves lots of community groups, volunteers, and city and county resources. And it's probably what Barbara's been working on for the last, I don't know how long.
Quite a while.
Quite a while, I would imagine. There's also all sorts of other things going on, the 5K, the Lions Pancake, breakfast, all of that. That it'd be, we'd be here all night if I started talking about all of the individual ones. But the one thing that there's been a question about, and I think Gloria's done a good job reporting about it in the paper, is that there will not be a carnival as we have known in years past. But they'll have some several rides that will be on the south side of the courthouse square where the pony rides usually are. And these are rides that are more for younger kids, small rides for younger kids. And so then what the chamber's done is they've arranged for a circus then the following weekend, or the following week, after the celebration, and then a carnival to come in October. So they're kind of stretching it out a little bit, extending the events out, and so we'll see how that all goes. They've had lots of complaints about the carnival that we've had in the past years, and I understand they went out of business or went away or did something, I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll see, what the changes. It's always good to make changes and, kind of see how we might change things up. And one of the things that we've been working on is some extra security measures for the parade and then other activities around the square on Saturday. Main thing is we want to have everybody have fun and be safe. So, item 2, I'm not going to say a whole lot about the earthquake, but we are inspecting city facilities and infrastructure for any visible damage. The mayor was in contact with ODOT regarding bridge inspections and asked them to check the one on Cedar Street, and I don't know that we have any
Cedar
others.
and Fir.
Cedar,
All of them.
right, all of them.
15.
And so, so I appreciated Brian Taylor offering to do that, to help us out on that. And I had also contacted NRCS regarding the Perry Lake Dam. So we're doing some follow-up with different agencies to double check and make sure things don't have anything visible or be anything to be concerned about. Item 3 is about utility bills. I love to talk about utility bills, don't we? The ones that just came out last week, I just need to remind people it's for the period of mid-July to mid-August. So by the time they got these, there'd been some cooler weather. And they think when the cooler weather is here, the last part of August, that's kind of what they remember. And from mid-July to mid-August, we had a lot of 100-degree days. A lot of 100-degree temperature days. So just wanted to remind people of that. And for those of you as utility customers, if you don't like those spikes up and down, and it's hard to plan your budget around that, October, November, and December is when you can sign up for average billing. And that kind of helps smooth out your bills a little bit and makes it a little more manageable as far as if your budget's fairly fixed and you need to kind of have a little help there. Something that's coming up, OMPA every 2 years conducts a phone survey of utility customers in their member cities, of which Perry is one. And they're expected to begin sometime in October. We don't have any set date, but we do encourage customers that are contacted to take the survey, because if we don't get enough responses, we don't have a valid survey to be able to report on. And so, we just want to let people know that OMPA will be conducting that survey, and we'll get more information out as we learn about it. Jennifer Rogers with OMPA is supposed to be here to give us an update at our next meeting, and so I'm assuming that'll be one of the things that she'll report on is the survey. Speaking of OMPA, the annual meeting is Thursday, this Thursday, at the OMPA offices. Dixie and I will be representing the city of Perry. Oklahoma Secretary of Energy Michael Teague is to be the keynote speaker. And with the earthquake this weekend, I'm sure his attention has been elsewhere. And so I'm taking bets on whether he has other things that he needs to be tending to or coming to OMPA. So, but knowing Secretary Teague, I think he'll be at OMPA.
I do too.
When he makes a commitment, he's good to follow up. And my seat on the OMPA board is up for re-election for a 3-year term. And as I've extended previously, anybody around the council desk, if you're interested in going, seeing what OMPA is all about, seeing the board in action, this would be a good time for you to join in and see what that's all about. And that's all that I have for tonight.
Thank you. I see we don't have a financial report this evening. Russ is gone. Still left out. But that's the way it works. Item 7, consider approval of ordinance number 2016-11, amending chapter 13 of the Perry Municipal Code 2013, as supplemented, providing for the amendment of section 13104 entitled Limits for Storage of Flammable Liquids, Bulk Storage of Liquefied Petroleum Gases, Explosives, and Blasting Agents, outside storage of cylinders containing liquefied petroleum gases, suitable barriers or enclosures, required exceptions, providing for repealer, savings clause, codification, severability, penalty, and declaring emergency. This ordinance was considered by the City Council in an earlier meeting. City Council recommended that the Perry Planning Commission study and make a recommendation on this ordinance, which they did, and it is included here in your paperwork. So what is your recommendation concerning this ordinance?
The only question I have is last meeting, or last time this was on there, we had Mr. Fraser here. What's the status of his request?
Under this ordinance, the fire chief would be making the decision.
Okay, so he hasn't been approved yet?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah, looks like you guys took a pretty good hatchet to this deal. So, essentially, the fire chief has the most say in this now if we pass this ordinance the way it is. That's the way I read it.
Which is similar to the way it was, right?
Close. Yeah, I probably should be. He's probably the one that knows most about it.
Well, and as, although I don't think it specifically says in here, it's always appealable to the city council.
Yeah.
So, you know, if someone doesn't agree with the decisions the fire chief makes, they can appeal it to the city council.
I'd like to make the motion to approve ordinance number 2016-11.
Second.
Motion and second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Stroller,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Eversole,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Gilbert,
No.
Calderon,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Don't smile when you say. We have emergency?
Motion for emergency.
We have a second.
Second.
We have a second. Roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Eversole,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Was it yes?
Yes.
Thank you. Calderon.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council. Item 8, excuse me. Item 8, consider approval of ordinance number 2016-12, amending chapter 11 and 18 of the Perry Municipal Code 2013 as supplemented by the amendment of section 11-2011, deleting a certain reference, and by the amendment of section 11-2-11 of chapter 18 by increasing certain cemetery fees and charges, providing for the repealer, savings clause, codification, severability, penalty, and declaring an emergency. Cemetery fees and charges have not been addressed for many years. Certain increases are recommended for adoption so that they come closer to covering the cost. Amendments are listed. Any discussion?
Is the cemetery losing money right now? That's why we're.
About $100,000 a year. And no, these fees won't come anywhere close to covering our loss. But they do put us more in line with what,
So to go back
Is-
into, we're not gonna take this money and put it somewhere else.
no.
No.
Do we know on maybe some statistics on opening and closing of the graves on Saturday? I mean, is that a
We're getting more.
situation that?
It is. It's getting to be more and more common. And, you know, what happens is the city ends up paying overtime. And typically, you don't get a lot of notice. I mean, I don't want to, on funerals, I mean, you know, they make the
2 week
decision.
notice or?
And sometimes it's, you know,
It's
2
a
days,
year.
you know, sometimes the funeral home will, you know, tell you on Thursday that you're gonna have a service on Saturday. And it's a little bit tricky sometimes, scheduling employees, and you end up paying the overtime. So, like I say, it's becoming more and more common. I know, Laura Lee on her monthly report has been reporting on Saturday services. You know, she's been kind of separating that out so that you know how many are on Saturday.
People gotta work, Bill, come on now.
Do what?
People gotta work.
Oh, I don't have a problem. I just think $1,000 to open a grave on Saturday is a little excessive in my mind.
Compared to, they have price comparisons in there for other towns.
Yeah, most of them were in that range, 775, 875 to 1,000.
But it's fine. I mean, it's just my opinion.
Did we have a motion?
Make a motion to approve ordinance number 2016-12, amending chapter 11 and 18.
Have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? I say, feel hesitation here, folks. We need to talk this out, we need to talk it out.
Well, it is a pretty good sized jump, but I also realize that we're losing $100,000 a year. Russ?
Yes.
When's this come effective, like the people that died this week, are they getting an increase? Who's getting an increase? I mean, for real,
Is anybody grandfathered?
yeah.
Well, when the ordinance is published, it's going to be effective, so there ought to be a run to buy spaces. If you pass the emergency between now and whenever the ordinance is published, the new rate is in effect, so. Flash sale.
When was the last time this was updated?
It was years and years ago, and
Actually, I think there was a proposal before my time
But it-
that didn't go anywhere. It didn't
a
pass.
decade, more than a decade. You know, you need to remember that you're providing perpetual care. And that's the thing. A portion of the charge for the lot goes into the cemetery care fund. Actually, 12.5% goes in there for perpetual care. But you know, that perpetual care obligation is a real obligation, and you know, we don't have any dollars, any significant dollars in that perpetual care deal. I mean, probably 50 years. How much, Russ, do you know?
The perpetual care fund, right now has about $120,000 in it.
So, I mean, it's not gonna
So
provide perpetual care. I mean, you're gonna
Yeah.
have to appropriate dollars every.
And that's really intended for, I mean, my look on perpetual care is more for long-term buying additional land to add to the cemetery, or adding a mausoleum, or, you know, I mean, something that is more than just maintenance and upkeep and mowing it and doing those kind of things. You know, I mean, we almost have take on that part, not in our perpetual care part, but long-term, because they're not making any more land. So what is, you know, at some point in the future, we're gonna have to expand the cemetery, you know, and hopefully not during my tenure, you know, here, or hopefully within any of your all's. But, you know, those kind of things are things that are gonna have to happen long-term, and we wanna set aside some money for whatever future generation has to make those decisions.
Well, the act of buying more land is gonna have to happen, because we can't go off down those slopes very far. You get in flood areas, you get in marsh area, and you get in wetlands.
And we're not-
Egypt, like Louisiana.
You don't wanna put sites down there. You can't plan for sites.
Mausoleums.
You might have to build a parking garage or something. Do I have a motion and a second?
We already did
Yes,
that.
did that.
Any further discussion? Roll call.
Schroeder,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Eversole,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Thank you, council. Do we declare emergency?
Motion on emergency.
Second.
Charlotte. Charlotte.
Oh, I hear you say anything, yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Eversole,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Collier,
Yeah.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 9.
Sorry, ma'am.
Award 15th Street Drainage Structure Replacement Project the lowest responsible bidder. On receipt and approval of bonds and insurance by the city attorney, authorize the mayor to execute the public construction contract and amendment number 1, deleting the following work and payments: traffic control, slab sod, miscellaneous pavement marking, striping, and signage. Reject all bids for the First Street median cut project. Those bids were too high for, that's the reason. You want to discuss this drainage, Sam or Mary?
I can, yes. This was identified back in, what, 2015 as, or earlier maybe, possibly, as a somewhat of an urgent need. I mean, if you go there and look at it, it's
It's scary.
the mayor says it's scary, so he's an engineer, so
Yeah,
I'll take that
because
word.
He has knowledge of all of that.
Yes.
Yes.
I run my semi over it every day and it never even moves.
And I drive it 5 or 6 times a day.
I hope it's empty.
No problem.
So Blaine with Monsoon did an analysis. He recommended that we, go out to bid with the replacing the structure. And so we did that. And in conjunction with that, we had been trying to get quotes on the median cut out on Fur Avenue by the Holiday Inn and the Macarena. And we weren't having much luck getting quotes on that project. And so we folded it into the 15th Street culvert project, thinking that we might get some better bids. We did get bids, but the median cut bids were all in the $60,000 range. And so didn't really think you all would want to spend $60,000 on a median cut, so we revised the scope of the project. It had a 60-foot cut, and so we narrowed it down to 30-foot, and we were able to get some quotes in the $25,000 to $30,000 range. And so also the bids on the 15th Street, they were all pretty well in the same ballpark, so it does seem high, but we tried to buy down the cost of it a little bit by the city doing some of the items that were on the pay sheet. Sod work after the project's over with, striping, and the traffic control. And so anyway, we're recommending that you reject the Fur Avenue median cut and award the bid to Cimarron Construction in the amount of $223,965 after approval of the bonds and insurance by the city attorney.
Comment, question?
What
This
are,
is-
go ahead, Jim.
This is gonna be a double, right? A double whistle, double over.
Gonna have two, it's a double barrel shot.
Did Blaine Blaine ran a flow study and took into consideration all the streets, potential routes and everything else?
That's the reason we hired him, to do the analysis of the drainage area.
So this won't need to be touched then for another 25 years probably,
No.
Maybe even 100 years.
maybe even 100
We're
years.
building a box there, and it's
Mhm.
gonna be I would estimate easily 75-year life on the box, and they usually run 100. The only thing that happens is sometimes you want to widen the street, so you cut the ends off and extend the box to widen the street.
So this isn't gonna be a culvert, it's actually gonna be a box.
Concrete, reinforced concrete box.
With wings and all.
That's right. I think it's a real sweet job. I think it's one of the easiest locations in Perry to build, to do a structure, excavate, because of the park on one side and vacant land on the other.
The Beaver's already got the.
Beaver's gone.
He's got it blocked up, he's got the creek blocked up, so no water flow. It's good.
Any other comments, questions?
Do we need to take the rejection and the awarding as two separate motions, or do they all be one motion?
Just one motion. You can make it as one motion. Award the bids, approve the contract, approve the change order. Or you can make them separate.
I make a motion that we do exactly what our Bryce told us.
Okay.
Your attorney? Have you got that?
That work?
She's got
Did you
it.
get it?
He's got it.
You got a second?
Thank you.
I gave you options here.
Well, yeah, I took the first option, I'm sorry.
No.
Thank you.
Option A.
We need a second.
Yeah.
Second.
Do we have to reject the bid though?
On the median cut, I think that's what,
Yeah, that's what Bryce said.
Yeah, that's part of it.
We accept the bid on the culvert and reject the bid on the,
Median
They got disposition of somehow, whatever.
Roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes, ma'am.
Platt,
Yes.
Eversole,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Gilbreath,
Yes.
Goldar,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 10, consider the canvass of bids for First Street median cut. Award the lowest responsible bidder. Authorize the mayor to execute a public construction contract for the project. Just as Mary stated, we called some contractors and asked them to give us a quote and come up and visit the site, and we did reduce the width of that median cut from 60 feet to 30 feet. I think 30 feet is running away good for that area to cross the street. The lowest bid was J&D Development Enterprises for $28,785.
And we are going to do the traffic control and all that good stuff, the city of Perry will.
Didn't I say 25,785?
I got 28,75. Did you say 25?
25.
25,785.
Save me 3,000. And your question was?
So the city's going to do all of the striping and whatever else is required, like the traffic control and that, which does not appear on this bid.
That's correct.
Yes, that's true.
That's why it's so low.
We're gonna handle that.
Because all the
It's
other
mainly-
two bids had that included in the bid.
Well, it also doesn't have maintenance bond, performance bond, statutory bond. I mean, it's not the big full package, so they always cut it. They always cut it twice, sharper.
Mhm, when you take away.
You say
those.
25 to 50%.
Take away all the bureaucracy.
Yeah, that's good.
The bids that did though include reinforcing on 18-inch centers each way.
Yes.
Tied to the existing pavement and that type.
Yep. Yeah, all the construction stuff looked good. It was all the miscellaneous stuff that was gone.
That's how we save money.
And the width of the cut still provides access from both Holiday Inn and Macarena.
Lines up with it.
Good.
Or will.
Good.
Could you explain to me why it says demo of approximately 120 linear feet of concrete curb?
That's to get the concrete curb out of the way so you can put the driveway in there.
So if it's gonna be 30 foot wide, they gotta take out 100, and that'd be 60 and 60.
Yeah.
Okay, well, in my mind, it's not adding up, but
It does when you pace it out.
that's fine.
What happens is you just don't do it the width, 30-foot width yet. You build little, what you'd say, angles So you wouldn't have a turning radius as such, but you'd have angles where a truck or car could come across there and make a turn and not drop a wheel off the edge. And so you-
Well, that's fine if they figured it that way. I'm just saying the median's not that wide. It'd be like taking out everything, the whole curb on the whole median.
Well, that's a longer median than you think,
Well, I know it is, but we're only taking out 30 feet.
on each side, plus the radiuses. If it comes up shorter, they won't charge us for it.
Yeah, the new concrete is 15 by 60. 2 curbs down both sides is 120.
Any further questions?
One of the things that wasn't included on the agenda was that this was not a budgeted project at the time the budget was adopted. And so we're recommending that we use street sales tax money to fund the cut, and should be included in your motion.
All right, do we have a motion?
Make a motion to authorize the mayor to execute a public construction contract for the cutting of the median on Fir utilizing sales tax?
Street sales tax.
Street sales tax funds.
Second. Keep going.
All right, roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes.
Black. No. Ebersol,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert,
Yes.
Colner,
Yes.
Johnson.
Abstain.
Mr. Mayor, could we return to number 9?
Sure. Question?
No, there was the issue about how we're gonna pay for that, and that brought me, when you brought that up on 10, that reminded me that we didn't address that in the agenda. You know, we have those funds in the drainage fund, which had accrued. Do you have that figure? Or do you know that figure?
When in the adopted budget, we budgeted $200,000 out of the street sales tax money towards this project. And so that would be what we recommend with the balance coming from drainage. From drainage.
So that, once again, that does take a vote to appropriate those dollars. You know, this is a well, let me think. It's a drainage. Did we not, we had drainage in that.
I thought that's where it was coming out, was drainage.
We had
fund.
drainage in that. Well, yeah, but there's not enough money in the drainage fund. But as a part of that street sales tax, that included drainage.
Well, it could be the capital,
But that requires the super vote.
Right.
I think it's okay for it to come out of street. I just want to make sure everybody knows it's coming out of drainage funds, it's coming out of street sales tax, just so that everyone knows that.
Both fund pots.
So we're gonna drain the drainage fund and then
Get
use
the-
street tax money for the rest.
For the balance, that's what I say. We probably, and you probably want to.
actually, it's just the opposite. We're using
Yeah, that's what
200,000 with the balance from drainage.
23,000.
Unless you want to change that.
Unless you want to change it.
Yeah, unless you want to change it.
What does that leave the street balance at with both of these coming out?
But we have
Is it
over $1
still-
million dollars.
Yeah, we'll have.
I mean, do we have to like take away a street or something doing this?
No.
Alright.
But the
There we
street
go.
project, didn't the street projects total like 900,000 or something?
That'll be about $1 million, yeah. For this year. For this fiscal year.
Everybody, see eyeballs going.
Yeah, that might
Question?
add up.
Ask me.
Exactly.
We're just.
You can't have $1 million in street tax and have $1 million worth of street work and still have $200,000 left over.
No, they'll just come to us later and ask for more money, that's what I would.
That doesn't add up.
Well, it's not,
Don't make comments unless you got something to say that we all want to hear.
I did.
I wasn't talking to you.
Oh.
Thank you. How much was the street bond issue? $3 million?
No, $4 million.
$4 million?
I mean,
And we're using $1 million of it for streets. We're gonna take this out of it.
How much is in that drainage fund?
Well, this year we'll accumulate about 85,000 into it.
And do you know what the reserve, do you know what the,
Reserve was like 38,000.
okay.
so we're gonna need 50 on
So,
top of the
so
street
we
fund,
need
right,
most,
to get this. Gotta be.
So what are you asking us for?
well, I just wanted everyone to know where that money was coming from on the site. You know, we brought that up on 10, just want to make sure. And I think that drainage is a proper use of
I
that,
agree.
of that
I
street
agree.
money. So I don't see any issue. I don't think you need to have the super vote, you know, for the capital improvement. I think that part's okay. So like our budget, 200,000 from the street and then the balance from the drainage. As long as everyone's okay with that and it's recorded in the minutes, then I think we're fine. It's appropriated, so,
Yeah,
I mean, that's
Budget
fine.
appropriate.
yeah.
We should use that budget appropriation.
I just wanna make sure we have enough left in the street fund to do some streets. So that's my.
All of our schedule, all we have scheduled so far, we need to be able to do.
Yes. So we need to be able to continue with that program.
So are we draining the drainage fund or not doing this?
You just like saying that.
I do. It's a great pun. It's punny.
We're using,
It's
you're using
nothing.
what is not spent. We're using $200,000 out of the street paving fund,
Uh-huh.
capital fund. And then that will leave, if it goes according to the estimate, which it never do, but if it goes according to the estimate, we'll be taking $23,965 out of the drainage fund.
Okay.
I'm good.
Which in the end will leave 60,000 left in the drainage
Accumulating.
fund, accumulated over the year. Okay, I'm good.
All right,
Yeah, I know.
any
That's
further
what I'm-
questions?
That's-
Item 11,
That might not qualify.
consider approval of proposed right-of-way agreement, easement agreement with Heritage Petroleum Incorporated. Heritage Petroleum Incorporated seeks a right-of-way agreement from the city of Perry at the Perry Lake property in order to locate temporary drilling access road, a tank battery site with access road, and a 2-inch poly pipe gas pipeline easement in case the well makes gas in paying quantities and is complete. Heritage is offering that they will pay for the right-of-way required, which is $15 per rod, or $104.55 for the tank battery entrance and entrance to the temporary access road of $578.25 for the gas pipeline, for a total of $682.80. When they say per rod, a rod is 16.5 feet long, so it's really about $3 a foot. is what they're paying.
And that price has been raised
Yes.
today.
We have an amendment here.
Yes.
Yeah, here it is. Mary said she thought the prices were low, so they come back asking for, if you look, 6.97 rods at $50 per rod. That's $348. That's for the tank battery and access road, which is $3 a foot if you convert rods to feet. Gas pipeline, only if needed, if well is successful, 38.55 rods or $50 per rod. That's still $3 a foot, 16.5 foot per rod. So it's increased to, now, any questions concerning this agreement for an easement for this well? Representative of the company is here, and they want to drill.
Yeah, would somebody explain how this road that is going to, this temporary road that is going to be placed in the spillway, the overflow, and how does that affect our dam project that's coming down the road to raise the level of the dam and the level of the lake?
We met with NRCS out on the site. The permanent access road was moved so that, and Mr. Smith might, maybe you could help me a little bit with this if you want to come to the podium, but we objected to the location where it would be in the spillway area.
Mm-hmm.
And so the access to the well will actually be from the north, from the county road.
Right, and we're talking about the temporary access road?
Yes.
Yes, we have a temporary access road from the north of the spillway. And we also have an agreement that once the dam project proceeds, we will, the agreement for the temporary access road is nullified with 1 month of written notice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
And then you will remove that at your expense?
yes. Yes.
Now, are you saying there's a permanent access road that's gonna come from the section line?
Yes, there's a permanent access road, also to the north, that we need to access the well, of course.
It's on private property.
Right.
Yeah.
It's on Mr. Grimm's property.
Okay. And the tank battery is on private property, but you need access there from?
Right, from the road, yes.
I need you to give your name for the record.
I'm Brandon Smith with Heritage Petroleum.
So, but that will be a permanent road,
Yes, sir.
accessing the south end of that tank battery.
We actually crossed out these roads, and I don't know if, were they updated in the
Yeah,
packets?
there should be.
So there's
there
only
is an
one,
Exxon, so-
yeah, so there's only one road to the north that we're gonna use, so all of those to the south are off the grid.
So all of those off of the north-south county road are gone?
No, just there's one at the north, see the rectangle for the tank battery?
Yes.
There's a small diagonal right there,
Okay,
coming off that, and that will be the
okay.
alignment right there.
That will be permanent?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so I just can't read this map, it's so crossed out. I don't understand where the temporary road is, if that's the permanent road.
The temporary road, oh, go ahead, I'm sorry.
Well, that's a temporary road, and we're also gonna have the permanent act road on Mr. Groom's property.
Oh, so the permanent road is gonna come in from the north, from the east-west road is what you're saying?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so the one coming off the lake road, the way I understand it, is the temporary
It's
road?
tense, yeah.
That's right.
All right. And how soon do you project drilling a well there?
We're hoping within the next couple months. Depends how fast we can get approval with the one with authority of the dam. So as soon as possible, we're hoping to drill yesterday.
There are some additional steps that need to be taken. They need to submit information to the city of Perry as the local sponsor of the dam project, and then that goes on to Rusty, the district conservationist. Then it goes to the state and RCS, and then I think it goes on to Mr. O'Neill up at the state. So there's still some additional steps that they're going to need to go through to get this approved, but the right of way obviously is important. And without it, they probably have to go to Plan B.
They would have to go to Plan B. Very good.
So I'm assuming if you're asking us for a right-of-way for the pipeline, you already have an agreement with the private landowners?
Yes, and he's also the mineral owner, so.
But
yes.
across the road to the east or
Yes.
the west, the Brand family that you're gonna run across?
I'm not so familiar.
I don't think it's on the Brand property.
Well, it says existing tank battery. I thought, it says proposed pipeline.
Yeah, that's to tie in to the sales point right there.
Wouldn't that be the Brand family? Well, that should be on our property? So the Brands are north of that?
I believe so.
Okay. Well, this picture's so terrible, you can't see anything really. Because I thought that lagoon set right up against their fence.
It's pretty close to it.
Well,
It is
that
big, right?
pipeline looks like it's right north of the lagoon.
It is right north of the fence lagoon, yeah. That's kind of what it looks like to me on here.
So it would go across the brands somewhat then, to me. Because I think the tank battery sits on the brands.
Yeah,
But I mean,
that's
that's
not
not,
Mr.
that's
Burns.
not our problem, but.
You mean the existing tank battery?
Mhm.
I mean, that'd be, obviously, that'd be something they'd have to work out with the
Yeah.
brands.
Yeah. You see that map, it's called a vicinity map, it's the most clearest thing on there. You see where the well is on the east side of the lake road, and then that tank battery's on the west side of the lake road, like you're saying, Bill. The vicinity map's that little map up the right-hand corner, the one you can't read. It shows the section lines, northeast, northwest quarters. The well site, and then the pipeline going across the road. The temporary road comes off our loop at the lake road, then they gotta build a road from the north down to that. That's on the road.
Yes.
And they're asking for temporary on us, for this right here.
Right.
Okay.
So we're still asking for the temporary
You're looking
and
at-
the permanent road access road to the tank battery and the pipeline, is that correct?
There is, no, they're wanting, you're at, they want a temporary road on the south end of that tank battery. I see the temporary road.
Yeah.
Is that where you're going, that's where you have a road now, or you're gonna?
I have a clear map over here. I don't know, it should be passed around. But we have it right here so it can be seen. And that'll be the temporary access road to the lower pan just right off there.
Yeah. you're
So
going
it's
to
not
the
that
east.
much. So yeah, we're going to the
Yeah,
east
that'd
a
be
little
to
bit.
the well side,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
drilling side.
Yes, sir.
And then over there where your tank battery is, that's a permanent road over there, you need a temporary road over on the west
By
side
your-
of
by
the
your
road.
thumb over there,
West
yeah.
side.
That's the
That-
tank battery there.
That's existing tank battery. Yeah.
That's,
Okay.
yeah.
That's where you wanna take
existing
the
road,
pipeline
so-
to.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir.
There's already a road to that, right?
Yes, sir. And we won't need to access that area much at all. So,
But
So
you
that-
are putting in a new tank battery on the east side of the road,
yes, sir.
which needs a permanent road to that new tank battery, which is that rectangular piece. And that's where they need the permanent road, or access road from the lake road.
I think the permanent road is gonna come off, unless I'm mistaken, Jim. I think
It's
the
coming
permanent road will
off
come
the-
off the north, the east-west
On the-
road.
Yeah, to further to the north, and then we're gonna loop around on Mr. Broom's land.
That Brand's corner there, if you go.
Yeah, and then
east,
you go east, that will
Then
be
east,
the-
then
that's a
south to the
permanent
well.
road.
Okay, but access road to the tank, to the new tank battery, where does that go?
It's further north off the map.
Okay, so that's coming off of the section road also?
Right.
Okay.
But it's adjacent to Mr. Scrooge's land from what I understand.
Okay, I was looking for another.
I think
access road to that tank
if
battery.
I'm not mistaken, I mean, I may be, but I think the road to the tank battery and the road to the well will be the same road.
Yeah, I understand now, yep, I agree.
I agree too.
Okay. So we're voting on the temporary road and the pipeline.
We're voting for approval of the right-of-way agreement as presented by Mr. Smith.
Do you know, are they
At these
gonna,
dollars.
Hmm?
At these dollars.
will you guys be putting a culvert pipe in there for drainage and on that temporary road?
No, drilling should take about a week. So we're not planning on
Okay.
a culvert pipe.
So
right now.
so what you're saying, once the drilling's done, then that road will come out?
I'm not sure how soon it'll come out because, but it'll definitely be gone, before, work on the dam is.
Well, what I'm saying, you just said it only takes a week. So if it, so I mean, if
Theoretically,
it's
we
going
have
in
no
there
idea.
for 6 months or a year, naturally it's gonna need some culvert pipe in there, because
Right.
that's a drainage issue.
Right.
So that's two different things you're talking about. Whether it's, if you're drilling and then taking it out, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you're gonna leave it for an
No, we have the
extended amount
permanent
of time.
access to the north that
You just got through saying that it will come out prior to the dam work, which could be a year or two.
Well, guaranteed, yes, sir. So I don't,
I just think we need to make sure there's proper drainage before we,
Within
Allow
30
them.
days of when they get their drilling done.
something, I mean, if they're gonna build across our, well, we
well, we're
can
not
refer to
necessarily
barges.
building anything. We're not building a road. We're not bringing in a lot of dirt right now. We're just gonna be running over it with.
Wasn't there a ditch there?
No,
Yeah.
that's-
No, it's.
This is the bottom of the overflow. The road will be in the bottom of the overflow, where you can come down and you go up through that swale and then back up on the dam. That road will be down into that overflow.
No, it's gonna be north of the lagoon.
I'm confused then, I don't
Yeah,
know
we're
where
just
we're at.
gonna be rolling
Sam,
over it,
would
so
you-
we're not
would-
building it up.
Have you looked at this site?
I looked at the site prior to the lagoon being put in, and since the changes that may be proposed here, I haven't met with Mr. Smith. And what we had planned was in the overflow area, and it was going to be temporary. They were planning on very limited amount of rock, and no rock if it didn't rain, just for the time it took to do the drilling.
Yes, sir.
Then they put the fence back up, get rid of whatever they might be right there that would need to be improved.
Yeah.
Right, so there's no, it's smooth and there's no edge, so there's no need for.
Well, with Sam on the job, I feel
So
secure.
if he's saying the road is up here, then I agree with what Bill is saying, that we do need to look at drainage.
Yeah, they're gonna.
They're gonna have to put a culvert in there to drain water from the
Not gonna pull
north.
the road out.
That's right.
But Sam said he talked
And
to,
you might know of someone who's with the Conservancy District that might have an interest.
I
You
might,
can watch.
but that's a whole other subject.
He don't wanna go there right now.
We have Rusty Peterson to call on
Yeah.
to have some oversight on all this as well, so.
I just think being proactive up front is the best, rather than get down, and not saying you're out, I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying, we just don't wanna get down the road and then go, well, now what do we do, you know? I think it needs to be determined up front. Someone needs to go out there and figure out exactly this is where the road is, and then we take the proper precautions to,
I agree.
So what do you say, you want to table it?
no, I think Sam will do a good
You
job.
can approve it and we won't sign it until it's staked.
Well, we have-
And Sam is good with it, right?
Sam's good with it.
You're really being
There-
put on
You
the
get out
spot.
there with Sam
We'll
and
make sure
and
that-
show it to him.
That everybody's good with this.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not that familiar with this project.
No, that's quite all right.
My boss / father is coaching girls soccer.
He just kind
team.
of throws you under, he just
I'm
throws you under
just-
the bus.
He gave me about 30 minutes of looking after that, so. Well, I'm sorry if I muddied the waters even more.
Go get him, son.
Go home and say, oh, we're not drilling a well.
We had this deal all set up, you blew it.
Pretty much, so I mean, if you guys have any employment opportunities by tomorrow,
He's calling upon our mercy now. Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve the right-of-way easement. Let's see how I'm gonna put this.
Subject.
Subject to the staking of the road and the approval of the city of Perry.
Second that.
I will too.
Any comments, questions? Everyone understand? Roll call?
Stroller.
Yes.
Platt. Yes. Eversole.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
O'Donnell.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes. Thank you, Bill.
all right, thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. We worked through it.
Get back where I need to be. Okay, item 12. Consider approval resolution agreement with RSM LLC. The city's economic development and related agreements with RSM LLC provide for construction of 64 sleeping room Microtel Inn and Suites by Wyndham, Perry Commercial Park. The price for real property was a $100,000 CD to guarantee the hotel would be completed in 12 months. The developer alleges third-party failures not within the control of the developer led to a delay in opening the motel. And that is within the terms of the force majeure in the, what?
It's actually the force Azure.
Azure, you don't pronounce the N.
No.
No, it's.
No, his name is Matt Azure Johnson.
They're messing with you.
Oh, you're dead.
It's kind of a joke.
You're low, you're really low. And I went for it.
This one's fun since the last one.
Oh, no.
Man. All right. The city disagrees and recognizes the benefit brought to the community and the cost involved in contesting this dispute, the dispute. Therefore, the city agreed upon assurance of a certificate of occupancy to return the developer $75,000 plus all interest from the CD and retain $25,000 to cover the city's loss in hotel sales tax. The resolution agreement provides for this settlement of issue, and the city welcomes the Microtel Inn and Suites by Wyndham as new business for the community. This topic has been discussed several times by the city council in executive session. Resolution agreement. What is your?
It has been executed by RSA.
Motion to approve.
Motion and second. Discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Stroller.
Yes.
Platt.
Yes.
Daverson.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Elders.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Item 13, consider approval of the termination agreement with Jumpstart HR Partners LLC, Jumpstart. You remember we entered into an agreement with them for a one-year consulting agreement for Jumpstart to provide the city certain human resource consulting services. They wish to cancel the project and keep the money they got so far, and Mary's the one on top of this, so I'll let her explain.
Basically, Jumpstart asked to be released from the agreement. Initially, when she took a job in the private sector, she really felt like she could finish her project, but the obligations for the new job were way more than she anticipated, and so our project suffered as a result of that. And so in return for the release, she's not going to bill us any more than what we've already paid her, which is $11,000. I think the original contract was $23,500, I believe. And we did pretty well. We've got all the job descriptions, we've got the implementation documents, we have the performance evaluation forms for the different levels of employees. So we have the skeleton, we have everything that was to be prepared, and she also is going to send us all of the work product that she has not previously provided. She's going to be sending that to us as well. So I am recommending that we release her from the agreement.
Do you remember, what'd you say the total agreement was for, what were we supposed to pay?
23.5 is what she got.
Yeah, let me see, I've got it here.
So do you feel like we've got about halfway there with the money we've given her so far? I mean, we paid her about half.
Probably more than half.
Did she get halfway to the goal?
I think so. More than, I think we've gotten more than half, let's put it that way. We were to, let's see.
I think it just had a price per hour, and then we had a budget estimate.
I thought it was like 25,000 where I was at, but I can't remember.
Performance management implementation was $18,500. Let me get back to the job description. back. Sorry, I don't think it's marked.
My only question was, is that we paid her 11, do we think we got 11 worth?
Yes.
Okay, that's the only thing, that's the only reason I was asking those questions. Just trying to see if we thought we got enough, got what we needed to get out of it.
And the direction, to add to that, the direction of this was to get to where we could do the evaluations and have all the information and background we needed to do those things. Do you think we're close to that?
Well, there's still work to be done. You know, the goal of this was to do what the council wanted us to do instead of doing cost of living adjustments. That we'd actually do the performance evaluations, and department head would have X dollars to allocate to the various employees that they have under their supervision. And so, I mean, obviously, it would have been helpful for Laura to finish this, because she would have come and she'd held the training with the employee, with the department heads, would have, finished up everything. Dixie and I are now doing this in our spare time. So
It's not worth anything if it doesn't get followed through with, so if they,
well,
they can follow through,
we're
then
both
you got your money
committed.
worth.
We're
Yeah.
both committed to this, but we have other things that we do. And so we're not gonna be focusing 100% on this. I mean, we're trying to, it's September,
But I think we should
I
definitely
mean, do
release
you-
her from
okay,
the
let-
contract. We don't want, I mean, there's no, as far as this item goes, but, and we probably need to talk more about it in our planning
Well-
session, how we move forward, as far as training and all that goes.
well, I would say that we could use the existing performance evaluation forms and get it done fairly quickly. Now, but if we use the new performance evaluation forms, I would say, we're looking at January 1 probably. Is that a fair, do you think?
Probably. I'm not sure we can get it done January 1, but that would be.
I mean, I think it'd be a good, a reasonable goal.
I guess
But we can talk about it at the
really,
planning
my
session.
my only question was, we plan on doing it in-house as opposed to
Yep,
hiring somebody else after this.
not hiring anybody else.
Okay.
Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the termination of the agreement.
Second.
Motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Stroller,
Yes.
Platt,
Yes.
Eversole. Yes. Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin,
Yes.
Hooper,
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Item 14, consider approval of Resolution 2016-09. According to the FAA, I got that on those kids running. FAA grant application for rehabilitation portion of parallel runway. It is AIP 3-40-0077-012-0-2016 in the amount of $317,027. Local match is $35,226.02. Approval of this resolution, the city accepts the FAA grant of $317,027 and agrees to provide the local match of $35,226.02 for the rehabilitation of a portion of the parallel runway. Grant is attached.
So this is just to accept the grant, because we
That's
talked
right.
about this last time.
Accept their money. But we're also saying we're gonna spend ours.
Yeah.
But we talked about that last
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Because we've already, we had to award the contract
To the.
prior to the grant application.
FAA.
FFA.
Do we have a
Motion to approve.
motion on the AAA?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, Platt,
Yes.
Eversole.
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Collier,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. New business. Any new business needs to be brought before the city council this evening? Item 16, consider convening into executive session for purposes of conferring on a matter pertaining to economic development of the city of Perry to discuss business proposals in the South Community Park to create retained jobs, payroll, and increase and/or continue tax collections as public disclosure would interfere with the development and implementation of the proposal pursuant to 25 OS 307C10. Conferring on a matter pertaining to the economic development of the city of Perry to discuss a business proposal to create or retain jobs and payroll related to the medical field, and the public disclosure would interfere with the development and implementation of the proposal pursuant to 25 OS 307C10.
Motion to convene in the executive session.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Miller.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Emerson.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Elvira.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Dr. Baird had nothing.
Fourth
He
Street
serves on
is in his
the,
whites.
as our chief of staff and.
They rotate that.
Not right now.
I was gonna say, I thought you.
But Hartwig was, he just went off,
Yeah, he
right?
just
They
went
rotate.
Out of the
All right.
state.
I understand.
All right.
And
They have a relationship with
and
Stewart
thrown
Medical
in,
Center
he
because they
might be,
handle
but
it.
he's never quarterbacked a varsity game before
Uh,
he did the JV.
Need a
Mo-
motion?
Motion to reconvene.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Stroller.
Yes.
Platt.
Yes.
Eversole.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Color.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes. Take any action necessary pursuant to executive session. Item 1, no action needed. Item 2, no action.
I'd like to
needed.
make a motion on item 2. I'd like to make a motion that, to direct our legal counsel to send a resolution to the Perry Hospital Board of Trustees to schedule a meeting with us. And to invite other interesting parties in the discussion of the viability, the financial viability of our hospital.
Second.
Stroller.
Yes, ma'am.
Platt.
Yes.
Eversole.
Yes.
Marshall.
Yes.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Color.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Item 19.
The 20.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. Oh, geez.
Second.
Say we're already there.
I can't do it again. We can't reconvene.
Roll call.
Stroller.
Yes.
Platt. Yes. Eversole.
Yes.
Marshall.
the correction.
Yes. Sorry.
Franklin.
Yes.
Gilbert.
Yes.
Color.
Yes.
Johnson.
Oh, that was the correction.